Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to Kini News, the show that brings you today's biggest stories. In an exclusive interview with Malaysia Kini, Dr. Mahathir Mohamad reminded Pakatan Harapan that Malay support is crucial to form a government.
5 years from now, Dr. Mahathir Mohamad would be a centenarian, but this has not prevented him from wanting to become Prime Minister again for a record third time. Although he is requesting for a 6-month stint before passing the baton to Anwar, PKR is doubtful that the promise would be kept. In an exclusive interview with Malaysia Kini this morning, Mahathir, however, reminded that he followed through with his promise to step down in 2002, allowing a smooth power transition after 22 years at the helm. Based on the public statements by party leaders, Warisan, DAP and Amanah appeared to favour Mahathir, while PKR remained adamant that Anwar should helm the nation. Mahathir said Warisan's position was that he should be nominated as the Prime Minister candidate because it was important to show that a Malay party was part of Harapan Plus.
Itu sebabnya yang saya berpendapat kalau mereka balik kepada Pakatan Harapan yang tidak mempunyai penyertaan parti Melayu seperti Bersatu, maka mereka tidak mungkin dapat sokongan daripada wakil-wakil rakyat Melayu yang kebanyakannya ada dalam parti UMNO, parti PAS, parti Bersatu, dan mereka akan kalah. Apabila kalah, boleh cakap sajalah jadi Perdana Menteri, jadi Timbalan Menteri, tapi kosong.
In a statement today, Parti Keadilan Rakyat said that they will reject any proposal to nominate Dr. Mahathir Mohamad as the Prime Minister for the third time.
PKR has again rejected Dr. Mahathir Mohamad as Pakatan Harapan's candidate for Prime Minister. Instead, the party's leadership council and MP said they would stand by Harapan's consensus for Anwar to become Prime Minister. In a statement, PKR said the party is open to discussions with all quarters, including Mahathir, in the effort to save the country and return the people's mandate to its rightful place. They also said DAP and Amanah had been consistent in their support for Anwar as Prime Minister. The problem only arose when Mahathir said that he should be given a third term. It added that any new administration must be stable and not subject to constant changes in leadership. Previously, DAP Organising Secretary Anthony Loke said that DAP and Amanah had agreed to back Mahathir as Prime Minister for 6 months, with Anwar as his deputy, but that PKR had opposed this. DAP and Amanah believed that Harapan would not have the numbers to secure a firm majority to retake Putrajaya without the 95-year-old politician. PKR has made it clear that it does not trust Mahathir to fulfill his promise to resign in 6 months after becoming Prime Minister. However, Loke assured that there would be mechanisms in place to make sure this happens. Harapan's ally Warisan has reportedly rejected accepting a proposal for Anwar to be Prime Minister, with Mahathir's son Mukris as deputy. However, Warisan also rejected a proposal by Mahathir to extend his suggested 6-month tenure to 1 year.
As the dust begins to settle following the sudden change of government, there are now talks in the Perikatan Nasional government about the possibility of snap polls to seek a proper mandate from the Rakyat. But with the COVID-19 pandemic still looming over the country, will people agree to the idea? Several Malaysians whom we interviewed in the city centre of Kuala Lumpur and Petaling Jaya claim that they are opposed to having snap polls soon.
Tak setuju. Sebab macam yang member cakap, so sekarang ni kita dah bukanlah selesa dengan pemerintahan sekarang, tapi daripada segi sudut pandangan tu rasanya dah tak perlu dah. Sebab rasa PM kita sekarang pun dah kira dah terbaik okey lah sekarang ni.
Bagi saya Tun patut rehat je lah. Spend hari tua Tun sebab dengan anak cucu, lebih pada keagamaan apa semua, bagi peluang pada orang yang lebih muda daripada dia.
Bukan kerja sekarang, dia mau tahu sekarang kenapa dia orang form new kerajaan. Is it for Malaysia or for themselves? They must ask this question. If for Malaysia, good, bagus, I support. If for themselves, no good. You see people jumping here and there, they dapat itu position menteri, so I jump to that one. If give money, I also jump lah. Sure, I jump. Because they know they won't easily win this thing. Not easily to win. They know. It's not easily win because the people here are not stupid.
It's no way to have another election because the previous government is elected by all our citizens, so they have to be back the government. You can see the previous few MP, they have done a lot of things. You see, like look, the transport one. You see, like a few female, they are good, but I don't think it's advisable to have next election because government no more money, our country no more money.
Whatever is on now, let the government do the recovery first. Recovery, overcome the COVID-19. After that, then only you can talk about political situation.
However, there are also those who think that having a snap poll is a good way to legitimize the coalition that they support.
Setuju. Bagi balik pada rakyat milih.
I would personally think that I would hope for an election right now because, to be honest, I think the government right now, it's not the people's choice. Me and I think everyone else as well because of the COVID. But you know, it's like two sides of a coin. So if that becomes a problem, it also becomes another excuse or weapon that the current government is using. Because the more we delay, the more they can do during this time, and we don't know what they're going to do.
Mandy Leong, Shazwana Amir reporting for KiniTV. The federal cabinet has approved the entry of foreign nationals under the Employment Pass 1 category if they are entering from COVID-19 green zone countries.
Defence Minister Ismail Sabri Yaakob said that foreigners with EP1, under which applicants must earn a basic minimum monthly salary of 10,000 ringgit and have an employment contract that is valid for a minimum of 12 months, are now allowed to enter Malaysia. They can do so without prior approval from the Immigration Department.
Walau bagaimanapun, mereka tetap perlu menjalani saringan COVID-19 swab test di negara asal mereka sebelum berlepas ke Malaysia. Atau ada negara sebenarnya yang tidak membuat saringan COVID-19, ya swab test kalau tiada gejala. Banyak negara membuat peraturan seperti itu. Jadi kalau mereka tidak dapat melakukan swab test di negara asal mereka, mereka mesti menjalani swab test di pintu masuk negara kita.
At the same time, the government has provisionally decided to grant Singapore and Brunei citizens entry into Malaysia without prior approval from the Immigration Department. He said nationals from both countries would also be exempted from the mandatory COVID-19 screening and 14-day quarantine upon arrival. However, this is only limited to Singaporeans and Bruneians who are currently residing in their home countries.
UMNO and 3 other parties can now get back a total of 194 million ringgit pending the prosecution appeal over related 1MDB for future suits.
The Kuala Lumpur High Court this morning dismissed the prosecution's application to stay the court's earlier ruling, which dismissed the 1MDB forfeiture suits against UMNO, Wanita MCA, Pranu Sanjaya Berhad and Bin Sabi Sanjaya Berhad. On February 7, the court dismissed the government's forfeiture suits against the 4 parties to recover 194 million ringgit in monies allegedly linked to 1MDB. However, the prosecution later filed an application to stay the ruling and prevent the monies from being released to the 4 respondents, pending its appeal to the Court of Appeal. The application was then scheduled for hearing today. While delivering the ruling today, Justice Mohamed Zaini Mazlan said that the court dismissed the stay application because the prosecution failed to show special circumstances to warrant such a stay. He then informed DPP Mahathir Abdul Jumaat that the prosecution may now write to the Court of Appeal to seek a stay on the High Court's ruling. Bin Sabi is an event management firm, while Prano is a subsidiary of textile firm Jekyll Trading. After the ruling, the counsels of the 4 respondents sought clarification from Zaini on whether an order could be issued specifying that the monies be immediately returned to the respondents. When met after the proceedings, Mahadi said today's ruling did not mean UMNO and the 3 others would get the money immediately, as there were a few more administrative steps to be done.
Still to come, families of Indian soldiers killed during the clashes at the India-China border moan as tension runs high between the 2 nations. All that and more after this. Welcome back. Indians have called for a boycott of Chinese goods as families mourn the death of soldiers killed in fighting with Chinese troops at a disputed border territory.
Troops remain on alert at the Galwan Valley in the western Himalayas on Thursday, 3 days after clashes which saw 20 Indian soldiers killed on the country's border with China. China has not given details of any death or injuries among its troops. India will take part in a trilateral meeting with Russia and China next week, the country's foreign ministry said on Thursday, with the foreign minister to attend virtually on June 23rd. In Beijing, Foreign Ministry spokesman Zhao Lijian said for the second day that the situation is stable and controllable. But that's done little to quell anger across the border. In Kolkata, protesters burned portraits and effigies of Xi Jinping. Chinese products should be shunned, said this demonstrator. A view mirrored by Heartland Nationalist Group with ties to Prime Minister Narendra Modi's BJP party, who have stepped up calls for a boycott of Chinese goods and a cancellation of contracts with Chinese firms. Funerals were also held Thursday for some of the slain soldiers. In the southern town of Suryapet, dozens of mourners paid their respects and laid wreaths at the coffin of Army Colonel B. Santosh Babu. China and India fought a brief border war in 1962 and have had occasional flare-ups when patrols have confronted each other at the poorly defined line of actual control, the de facto border. Under agreements in the 1990s, the sides have said they will not use arms near the border. But on Monday night, hundreds of soldiers fought with iron rods and clubs studded with nails for several hours.
Social media giant Facebook says that it has removed adverts for US President Donald Trump's re-election campaign that featured a symbol that was used in Nazi Germany.
Facebook said on Thursday that he had taken down posts and ads run by the re-election campaign of US President Donald Trump for violating his policy against organized hate. The ads showed a red inverted triangle, a symbol the Nazis used to identify political prisoners, with text asking Facebook users to sign a petition against Antifa, a loosely organized anti-fascist movement. Trump and Attorney General William Barr have repeatedly singled out Antifa as a major instigator of recent unrest during nationwide anti-racism protests with little evidence. Asked about the removal of the ads, Facebook's head of security policy, Nathaniel Gleicher, said the company would be consistent in taking the same actions if the symbol appeared in other places on the platform.
You obviously want to be careful to allow someone to put up a symbol to condemn it or to discuss it. But in a situation where we don't see either of those, we don't allow it on the platform and we remove it. That's what we saw in this case with this ad, and anywhere that symbol is used, we would take the same action.
The symbol was in Facebook ads run on pages belonging to Trump and Vice President Mike Pence, as well as on ads and organic posts on the Team Trump page. A spokesman for the Trump campaign said in an email that the inverted red triangle is a symbol used by Antifa. Facebook has previously removed Trump campaign ads, including ones that violated the company's policy against misinformation on the government's census.
And that's all we have time for, ladies and gentlemen. For more stories, you can go to KiniTV.com. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook for the latest news updates. Ladies and gentlemen, have a great weekend and stay safe, Malaysia. I'm Daniel Anthony. Thank you for watching.